Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Analyse This, where we discuss business and finance issues that affect the average Nigerian. My name is Arese Ugwu. I'm the founder of Smart Money Africa, which is basically a personal finance platform tailored to the African millennial. Meet my co-host.
My name is Tunji. I'm an economist and a research analyst, also a consultant with the European Union under the EU Sofogo project, which kind of put together will help us be able to help you analyze this.
Can you beat that introduction? Big boys.
Don't do that.
Why?
So, we're going to be talking about the scarcity of dollars in the Nigerian economy, the Nigerian scenario as a whole. Has it affected you in any way?
Tell me about it. The struggle is real. Babes are not smiling. My holidays are looking farther and farther away. But I think that people assume that when we talk about dollar scarcity, it's affecting only the upper middle class or rich people. But the other day I was going to get my nails done, and my guy Lati was like, I was asking him the normal annoying business questions I asked him, how markets? And he was basically complaining about how every time he goes to the market to buy the things he needs to do his work, the prices have gone up. They've doubled. So things that were cost 1,200 naira now cost 2,400. The inflationary pressure that this dollar scarcity is causing is immense. So inflation has gone to double digits officially, to 12.8%. Can you imagine? And
in the last couple of months.
And not to talk about the effect on the fuel scarcity. So,
also fitting into that. We went from 9.6 about 3 months ago to 12.8 in just very quick succession.
Yeah, so imagine importers are having problems getting dollars so that they can import oil, and that's causing the shortage of fuel. Now, that is also affecting transportation prices, or transportation costs. So, for example, my assistant was telling me that before, if you went from Berger to Lekki Phase 1, it cost you 400 naira and there was 3 people on a seat. Now, it costs you 500 naira for the same distance for 4 people in a seat. So you're more crammed. The ripple effect of the dollar scarcity is getting to everyone. So I think what the average person wants to know is, how did we get here?
Okay, so basically what we're experiencing now is a supply and demand issue as concerns the dollar. So we don't have as much dollars as we used to have to supply all the needs. Now, let me explain that needs part. So prior to now, you have a beautiful dress on, by the way, which I believe was bought outside Nigeria. It could have been bought, but if it was bought outside Nigeria, so whoever brought it into Nigeria needed to go and buy it from wherever, maybe Italy, Paris, wherever it was. And he went to his bank and said, I need to go and buy this particular types of dresses, and I need this amount of dollars to be able to purchase it. So the bank goes to the Central Bank of Nigeria and says, we need this amount of dollars for our client who needs to go and do XYZ. So that used to be a normal transaction, and nobody had issues with it until recently, when the price of crude oil fell, and then the CBN wasn't getting as much dollars as it used to get. So now it's kind of, it's that case of, I don't have as much money as I used to have, so I can't really give everybody.
But isn't a bigger issue, or the bigger issue in answering that question, this jam question, how did we get here, about the mistakes that we've made in the past? So Nigeria is a mono economy, but in the past 16 years, we haven't made any real strides or taken any real measures to diversify our income streams. So I feel like we should have had some savings from the time when the dollar was around $80 a barrel to $100 a barrel. We should have been putting something aside so that we could invest in other sectors like manufacturing, agriculture, so that now we would have been better off because we would have income or exportable goods, from other sectors aside from oil. But because we've been so focused on oil because of how easy the money comes, we haven't bothered to do enough to diversify our income streams.
I'm one person that's usually very critical about everyone there. But if you want to also look at it on their own side, they did save.
How?
They did save. I could remember that by the time President Obasanjo was handing over, we had close to $70 billion in our foreign reserves. Now, that $70 billion helped us through the last recession. the last economic meltdown in 2007. And then the last government too tried to save, but there were issues around.
I think it all boils down to a lack of long-term planning.
True. That is a possible.
So if we had planned better, then we would have a buffer.
It affects everything you do. You enter the market to get pepper. The pepper seller tells you, dollar is because of dollar. Why are you selling? Why is it so expensive? She tells you it's dollar. You get in there to buy ordinary fruits. They will tell you the dollar, it's dollar because of the price of the dollar. So virtually everything has gone up because of the price of the dollar. So it's affecting everybody. It's not a rich man's issue.
With that, we import raw materials today. It's very high. And no matter what, the percentage on the USD, we cannot have the profit back. So the high profit we're getting now is really low. So it's affecting everybody.
I think some people are taking advantage on it as well because some things are not imported. They'll say because the dollar rate is now expensive and, it's really affecting us. It's affecting business. You can see everywhere is dry. Not much customer because a lot of people are saving their money because of this dollar thing.
I'm not going to tell you that I'm enjoying it. It's actually very painful because you cannot get what you could get with whatever you have. You just need to get more money. And for exchange rate, like my son that schools outside the country, I have to look for more money where I could be exchanging for about 400,000. I need to get double that amount in order to source his school fees. And I'm not finding it funny. So definitely, I'm not going to tell you that it's not something pleasant. It's really bad for us right now.
I'm standing here now. Even the crayfish I'm selling is too higher. I cannot buy melon. Formerly, egusi a bag is 40,000 naira, but now it's 53,000 naira in a bag. You can see crayfish now. We can get it 3,000 naira for patanda before, but now it's 12,500 naira. It's too bad for us. Let government come and help us in this situation.
A lot more they can do in terms of communication. I can't, from my position, say that they're handling the situation correctly or not correctly because I don't know what they're doing. It's all about communication. If we know what the aim is, what the end game is, why we have a scarcity in the well, obviously everybody has an idea because there's two markets now, which is why there's a scarcity. But what are you doing to address this? What should we expect in the nearest future? Is the price going to go back down? Is this the usual price? I think there is a lot they can do in terms of communicating what we should be expecting. So that we can have realistic plans, we can have a realistic view of what the market should be like. I think and Nigerians are a really understanding bunch in the sense that they will understand that if things have to be made better, sometimes it's got to be worse. It has to get worse before it gets better.
I think what that lady said was epic about communication because it's so true. Like, we need to understand the narrative of this administration. They're not being very direct when it comes to what economic policy direction they want to take. And I think that is causing uncertainty in terms of foreign investors not being sure, like, whether or not to come and take advantage of, cheaper assets, because you don't want to put money in the country and then a few months down the line because of this wide gap between the parallel market.
Now I also noticed that a lot of market people were talking about food prices going up and inflationary pressure. Now, here's what inflation is. I might not be able to, let me not explain the technical terms, but let me explain what it means, right? When I was a kid, I could buy a tin of milk for 50 kobo, right? Or maybe less than 50 kobo. Now it's 115 naira or 117 naira or something like that. Now, what makes the prices go up over the years is inflation. A lot of things add into it. The fact that the tomatoes or the crayfish that the guy was saying probably comes from somewhere else. Now, the transportation prices, all those things add into the final cost of the crayfish that comes to him at the market. So because of that, naturally the prices will go up. And those changes in prices is what we refer to as inflation. So, one of the things I was thinking to myself as I was watching it is people could try to patronize farms closer to home. So farms that
Fair
cut
enough.
out the middleman in terms of transportation from the north. Of course, there are things that we still cannot get, maybe like things like tomatoes that come from the far north, but things that you can get closer to home. And maybe if you could have a small farm in your house too, it wouldn't be such a bad idea. No, I'm serious.
I know.
It won't be such a bad idea because
Consistent
I keep telling people that this period, what we need to do is get through it. Because it's going to be a slightly extended
It's
period.
going to get worse before
Exactly.
it gets better. Like, and I think, you know, in a lot of the comments, like on the streets, you were hearing things like, should we wait till it gets better? I think we need to come to terms with the fact that this is our new reality. So that ego better as a mentality, it keeps us resilient, but it doesn't keep us realistic.
Well,
so we need to start taking
facts we've heard out
measures.
of analysts from across the world, crude oil prices will not rebound till, say, late end of 2017. No, that is next year. If you were just wondering, that is next year. So we're not going to feel the effects of a rebound till 2018.
The reality is people are going to have to reduce their expenses. Businesses are going to have to revisit what their business model is, look at what the value proposition is.
Get more efficient,
Exactly.
get more creative.
Because the consumer now is going to be very, very finicky when they're making
Spending
their buying decisions.
Exactly.
If it's not a necessity, people are cutting things out of their budget. So you have to be thinking about what the value your business or service is bringing and making sure that you're providing way more than you used to before.
Also, in the case of, because a lady said something about her children in the foreign university.
Yeah, that's
now
rough.
I've heard the narrative saying if they can't afford it, bring
They
them
should
back
bring them
home.
back. It's
That
easier said than
is,
done.
I mean, it really
Yeah.
is. So, I mean, you should start to open up yourself to other opportunities, probably like scholarships, probably like a loan outside that may help you weather this period. Because the truth about it is that it's a business cycle. So it's going to rebound eventually. So we just need to get through this period, people. Don't give up everything you're doing. Don't just go back to the village. Stay strong. We're going to get through it. It's just going to take a little while, but we're going to get through it eventually. And also, I think maybe she might want to look at probably moving him to another school somewhere else that's
slightly cheaper.
I think not necessarily bringing him back home.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be really tough, like whichever way you look at it. And I think people have to now start getting creative with how they're diversifying their own income.
Yeah.
So how can I make extra money so that I can supplement
getting a
like
job
this?
on the side. Probably also.
How can your kid get a job on the side while they're?
You could also put up a mortgage on your house if the house belongs to you. Get some extra income. You know that skill that you've been working with that you just do on the side. That chicken you know how to make really good, and you don't tell anybody about it.
This agriculture thing.
This is really the time that you need to bring it out in the forefront and start selling it and start making some money on the side.
I suspect that Tunji has an agricultural thing
No.
on
But
in
you
his
see,
backyard.
one thing again that will sell at this point is food.
Yeah.
People will always eat.
True.
Irrespective of what they're going through. They won't buy clothes, they will eat. They won't buy cars, they will eat. They're not going to buy beer, they will eat. So seriously, focus on the food at this
The
time.
Gorobido in my head is saying, yes, that's right.
I mean, so it's my thought that we will get through this, but let's just look inwards and try to see how we can, survive this period. Okay, that is the first episode of Analyze This. You can always continue the conversation on Twitter. The Twitter handle of the show is @NdaniTV, and my Twitter handle is @Tunji Andrews. Arese?
You can follow me and continue this conversation on Instagram @SmartMoneyArese, Twitter @SmartMoneyArese, Facebook @SmartMoneyArese.
Also, do not forget to put the hashtag Analyze This. And till next time, it's me, Tunji Andrews.
Arese Ugwu. This is fun.
Analyze This.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Fowles, aka Fowles the Bad Guy. Well, in today's lesson, I will teach you how to subscribe to the NdaniTV channel. All you have to do is click on this. So simple, straightforward.